Hey everybody, out on a run. Hopefully this comes through okay. If it does, I'll post it. So if I posted this, we know it went all right. So real quick, wanted to talk about marketing metrics. I think interestingly enough, kind of a paradox, accountants aren't really good with their numbers. And with marketing, believe it or not, yes, there's creative aspects to it, things like that, but there's a huge amount of tracking involved. And if anyone swears they know exactly what's going to work perfectly every single time, they're lying. It's all about testing. So you got to track it, and you got to know your metrics. So I like to think of it as working backwards from the sale, right? Ultimately, that's what you want. So how much is that sale worth to you? If we're talking about an individual tax prep client, let's say you charge $200 to do a simple return, and you know the average tax return client is with you for 3 years. So that's worth $600. The initial sale is $200, lifetime value is $600. Well, the max you can really spend to get a client is $600, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Whereas if you think of like a basic business client, you do tax prep and bookkeeping for, let's say that's worth to you about $6,000 a year. So that's the max amount you can spend to acquire a client. That's a lot more, gives you a lot more wiggle room. And then you just work your way backwards from there. So you got to know what's your close rate on meetings. And I'm not talking about referrals. Referrals, are going to be much easier sales than just a lead that doesn't know you like you, trust you yet. So, if your close rate on referrals is about 50%, I would not expect that on a lead. So I would say you pick a number to start with, to guess, right, until you actually know. So let's say, I would say 20 to 30%, is a pretty good place to start with. Let's be conservative and say you're going to do more 20%. So out of every 10 meetings, you're going to close 2 clients. So to keep the math simple, let's say you can only bring on 2 clients. So you need 10 meetings. So you divide that 6,000 by 10. That means you can pay $600 per meeting to break even. So obviously the lower you can get that number, the better, the more profitable you're going to be. That's the max amount you can spend before you know, hey, something's really not working here, and you need to switch something up. So then you also need to know, work your way backwards from there, how many leads do you need to get in order to have a meeting. And there's no hard and fast rule there. It's really going to depend on your niche. And if that's, let's say you're getting a ton of leads but 0 meetings, okay, what's your follow-up process? Are you following up every single day for at least a week, calling them once, emailing, texting? And are you calling them within 5 minutes of them becoming a lead if it's within business hours? Things like that you need to look at. Or, it could be, maybe your copy isn't really bringing in the right kind of client. So these are all types of things. And once you have the data and you look at it, you kind of figure out what's going wrong and what you need to tweak. So that's the way I would think about metrics when it comes to marketing. I think this is something that almost any accountant can do. It just takes a little time to track, looking at the numbers. And just one last word on metrics is you want to give it time, right? So if you launch a campaign, you're not making rash decisions within a day. You need enough data to make a rational choice. So I'd say at least 3 days to up to a week if you can handle that. The longer the better, so that way you have some really good data to work with in order to make a decision on what needs to be tweaked, if anything. So that's what I'll leave you guys with, That's what I'll leave you guys with today, and I'll talk to you later.